Whatever is the definition for you of success will make you happy. So that is not the reaching of a goal, because it's not about getting to that future. It's about how you work on that future. I have the power to define my success, and I have the power to be successful.
Welcome to the Just Life podcast special series on purpose. It's our hope that the gritty, real, and uncensored insights we share with you here will help you get your shit together as you explore and discover what it takes to living your best life on your terms. So purpose, it's this nebulous, nefarious thing that we are seeking and find it really hard to find sometimes. But is it hard to find? There is a upcoming event happening, and I'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. But one of the things about this is to hear what other people are up to and inside of their journeys of finding their purpose. We tend to make the connections ourselves. We get related now to each other and realize that it's actually not that far off. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to have a little conversation, a sneak peek, if you will, behind the scenes with some of the people who are speaking and are on the panel for a day on purpose in January. And I'm going to do a quick introduction. So we have Teresa Valero, and then we have Richard Booker. Richard is going to have a little conversation with Teresa and give us an opportunity to kind of dig in a little bit about what purpose means for Teresa. So thank you so much, and welcome to the Just Life.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. So Teresa, I want to take folks back to February 2016, and you'll remember this day because I was hosting a book launch for 100 of my closest friends, and of course you were invited. And I remember standing at the door, welcoming people as they were coming to River Cross Ranch, which is where we hosted the day. And you came in with Javier, I think, and I think your boys were there as well.
Well, with my husband.
Yeah, and you had a package for me, and so you handed me this gift, and I thanked you very much and set it aside, and you quickly said, no, open it. So I opened it, and opened the bag, and there was a package in there, and I said, oh, well, thank you, Teresa, that's lovely. And you said, no, open it. So then I opened the package, and in it was this beautiful box with a sterling silver plate on it, saying the name of my book and the date. And I thought, well, this is a beautiful remembrance of the day. Thank you very much. And then you said again, no, open it. So then I open it, and you know what I found. I found what's become really my compass, and it was a compass. And then you asked me, do you know what it is? And I said, well, yeah, it's a compass. But then you said, no, do you know what it means? And I said, no. And then you remember, do you remember what you said to me?
I do, but I love when you say it.
So you said to me, Richard, you are our North Star. So as soon as you said that to me, I started to cry because I was so moved, and still am, by what you said. And I was immediately after that supposed to be talking to 100 people to tell them the story of the book, but I couldn't talk. And you may remember I said to you, Teresa, you're going to have to talk to them now because I can't. And you said, no, you have to. It's so profound to me because the icon for this day on purpose is now the compass. The cover of my second edition of my book will be, the centerpiece of it will be the compass. And I remember you sharing with me, at the time I was working on my book, you were working on something at the same time. Maybe tell folks a bit about what you were working on.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. When we met 15 years ago, again, we didn't know that we were going to be sitting here today talking about exactly the same topic. Through my life, again, working and in my career as a human resource professional, I discovered that you start talking with everyone about what they want to do when they grow up, and people doesn't know how to answer that question. The same time while you were writing your book, I was exploring a project with high school students and pretty much doing the same steps that we do with adults with the kids, because I found that start doing it that late in your life it's kind of waste of time. So my quest was, I need to do an early intervention. I need to start working with kids and teenagers to help them to figure out their dreams and their future. And the reason that I gave you that present, again, I was an instrument, and I always said that to you. That is beyond my connections with the universe, and that was so important for you, right? And exactly as you describe those steps is how I see purpose. You get a gift, right? And then you have to open it,
right?
But not just the first glance of your present. Then you have to open again your present until you go and go further into your roots. And it's exactly the same steps that you mentioned is how I see the path to purpose. Until you shine, until you find that thing that move you and make you cry.
Yeah.
So while you were talking, I'm thinking, this is no different than what we are teaching to the kids, what we are teaching to the adults. Just open their gifts and let them shine.
You know, the metaphor that you just described. So as you're describing what you just did, my mind is working through, I'm still unpacking that experience from 2016. So it absolutely, that's what this day on purpose is. It's to provide people with content and different people's experience, yours, and we were just speaking with our friend Ravin and others. So all of them, in a manner of speaking, are saying, like you did to me, no, open it.
Open it.
And then once it's open, you'll recall, I still
again.
didn't know what it was. I mean, I knew it was a compass, but I didn't know what it meant until you reflected that to me and sort of held up a mirror to say, no, this is what it means. And it was very emotional, still is very moving. And it was like, oh my God, that's what it's about. Who did that for you?
I think that for me, wow, thinking that question. For me, it's more has come from inside and all the mentors in my career, and that is why you were instrumental. And I call it the North Star because that is the instrument that we want to use to follow our real north. And I think that through my life, different people has helped me. In my childhood, I think my parents, as I grew up, my partner, my husband, and then my kids. Now that I'm again in a different kind of stage in my life, and somehow I have learned to use my own voice to follow my truth, right?
Yeah. So the work that you're doing with high school kids, I think is so important because the people that I'm working with, as you know, and we've talked about this, most of the people I meet have no idea. And a lot of them, as we've been discussing, never really consider purpose because they don't have to. They're in a job, they're, whatever their profession is, everything's fine until it isn't. And then when it isn't and they can't go back to it, they start asking these really profound questions. And so I'm imagining with the work that you're doing, what it would be like to coming to, I don't know what to do next, having experienced the work that you're doing with high school kids and having that framework. So talk to me a little bit about what you're doing with these high school kids.
Well, the difference with working with adults and working with young kids is that the kids don't have the restrictions, they don't have the stress of the day-to-day job, the responsibilities of like being the breadwinner of your family, right? Yeah. So how they dream, and that is what I love the most, the way that they are open and no obstacles, no limitations, no sky to their dreams is what makes me excited and happy to teach them, right? Because I found that they are free. And that is what we want to teach to the adults again. Remember when you were free, when you open your heart and let it go and let it move on from whatever was holding you back, right? So the kids have that beauty, that innocence, that imagination, that positive energy that let them be wherever they want to be.
So they don't have the parent tape in their head yet saying, oh, come on, honey, be realistic.
Be realistic. Oh, that is impossible. You won't be able to do it. Oh, I want to be rich, but how you're going to be rich? Oh, I don't have money. They don't have the I can't. They have the I can do this. Right.
I love this idea of the caveats that we create for our children. This idea that we should encourage not being realistic, that we should be being outrageous in what it is that we are curious about and aspiring to, and if it is you want to become an astronaut, or you want to become you want to swim with the dolphins, or whatever the extreme, those dreams that we had when we were younger, whatever those extremes are, well, how do we keep that around for longer with our kids? Because life very quickly becomes its own dream killer. There is no need for us as parents to come in and usurp that any faster than it's likely to be. Instead, it's really getting them to strive to reach for the stars and do something.
And it's not going like to do the amazing things that we all want to do, or like put it in heavy words. It's like the definition of success. What is success for you? What is the meaning of success? So it's not about being famous or being a superstar. It's about identifying the key factors that define success. And then I'm able to reach it, right? And then I'm talking about being successful as a teacher, being successful as a farmer, being successful as a HR business partner, right? Like as an accountant, whatever is the definition for you of success will make you happy. So that is not the reaching of a goal, is not the reaching of a specific future, because it's not about getting to that future. It's about how you work on that future, or how you get into that future.
The process of going there.
And maybe journey is the word that we always use, but it's the traveling, is the how do I get there, right? Where we always focus on the final results and the outcome. So that is the society perception of success. No, I have the power to define my success, and I have the power to be successful.
You know, I as you were talking, and David, with your comment earlier, I was thinking of a former client who had come to me. So this is a guy who was in a leadership role when I met him, worked with him through his transition. And then a few years later, he reached out of the blue, wanted to talk to me about his daughter, who is, I don't know, grade 11 maybe, and had decided that she was going to work with at-risk youth. That's what she wanted to do, and she's going to go to university to train to do that. And so he contacted me because he wanted me to talk her out of it. So I want you to meet with her and really get her to the place where she realizes that that's a pretty hard life, and she has no idea what she's in for, and all the ways that that's a really bad idea. And that was a really interesting journey. And I was thinking about you, in fact, I said to him, well, I do know somebody that your daughter should talk to. I'm happy to, but imagine your daughter's 18 years old? Can you think of anything higher up on her list of things she'd most like to do than to talk to an old bald guy? Because
I don't know, that's pretty compelling.
Totally.
And kids are hard, believe me. So you have to go to that level, and I have fun. I have fun doing it.
Yeah, I just thought this is not the way to go. And again, thinking of you and what you just said is really providing the runway for someone to explore and express and experience, and then maybe learn that, no, this isn't what I want, or alternatively be open to the possibility that, in fact, I'm feeling guided to this for a reason. It is my North Star, and this is my work my world needs me to do, even though the parent may think oh, this isn't realistic. It's going to be awful.
It's not good, or it won't be won't be fun, won't be good for his perspective, but not for her perspective.
Yeah.
And maybe the message that we are used to send to our kids, because I have 2 boys, it was like, go and look outside and discover, explore outside for your purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that the changing of the words, saying look inside, listen your energy, or follow the flow inside is the real guide.
Yeah.
So I learned how to change the words for them, so they will follow that inner voice. I don't know how else I can describe it, but follow that inner motivation to reach what they want to go, right? So just changing that will clear the message for anyone. And again, I'm not here to teach you what to do. I might tell you how and what are the steps, but you are the only one that will find it.
Yeah. For anybody that's in my demographic, they would know the name Jacques Cousteau. And this is a journey of exploring inner space, not outer space. The answer's not out there.
No, love it. That is very nice.
Well, that's well said. Thank you so much, Teresa. There was some really interesting things that I've taken away, and I'm a big advocate of really empowering my own children to explore on their own terms. As much as I want to like guide and steer and direct, it's not my place. Truly, it's not my place. And I will be there whenever they ask me, but I'm not here to uncover their answers. So my big takeaway out of this episode was that life truly is a gift. And what we tend to do is not go deep enough, open up the layers of the gift that's being made available to us. We just either look at it and go, oh, that's great, thanks, set it down. Or open the first layer and go, oh, that's great, thanks. Like, no, keep going. I think that's the big takeaway, is whatever you think you've gotten, just keep going. Yeah. Because you haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. And you're going to be so grateful when you've actually allowed yourself to do that. All right, so that is episode 4 of this special edition of Purpose on the Just Life. The event is called A Day on Purpose. It is happening in Calgary, and it is bringing together a fantastic community of speakers and presenters, people like you and me, at various stages of uncovering their own purpose. It will be a day of stories and discovery that will work to make a very high level and at times hard to understand topic relatable and uncomplicated. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this insight.